Hey guys, tonight we drift back to a place before time even had the courage to exist. You're not lying in bed anymore. You're floating, weightless, dreamlike, in a space so dark it feels alive. There's no sound, no sky, no heartbeat except your own. And, you probably won't survive this one, but don't worry. Technically nobody ever did. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And when you're done, drop a comment with your location and local time. I love seeing where in the world you're listening from, wrapped up in the same night. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You breathe, or think you do, but there's no air. The space around you hums with a low, endless vibration, a sound without a source. It's not loud, but you can feel it under your skin, like the steady pulse of something ancient and waiting. You look around, but around doesn't exist yet. There's no up or down, no left or right, just a quiet ocean of nothing. And then, almost imperceptibly, you sense movement. Not from you, but from the darkness itself. It's slow, like a sigh rolling through water. And you realize you're not floating in space. You're floating in none, the primordial ocean of the Egyptian gods. Infinite, eternal, older than thought. The water is thick and cold, yet oddly comforting, like being wrapped in the world's first dream. You can't see it, but you feel it shifting, breathing around you. It isn't hostile. It's curious. Somewhere deep within those silent depths, a murmur rises, not in words, but in intent. It feels like the ocean is whispering to itself, a slow, rhythmic hum, forming patterns, like the first heartbeat of a sleeping giant. You let the sound wash over you. Every vibration sinks deeper, almost hypnotic. The water seems to hold infinite memories of things that haven't happened yet. This is what Egyptians believed came before everything. No land, no sky, no gods, just none, the endless sea of potential. Some said it had no beginning, no end, no form. It was both everything and nothing, forever still, until one day it decided to move. You sense that decision now. The smallest shift, but it changes everything. From far away, or maybe from inside you, comes a ripple, a tremor of light. It's faint at first, just a shimmer in the corner of awareness. Then another, like the void blinking for the first time. The hum deepens. You can feel the temperature rise. The dark water seems to thicken with golden streaks. Faint trails swirling together. It's beautiful, like ink dissolving in glass. You drift closer, drawn by instinct. The currents tug gently at you, guiding you toward the glow. There's a pulse to it now, steady, slow, deliberate, like a heartbeat testing its rhythm. And then, a flash. It's small, barely there, but it's light. The first light. You almost don't believe it's real. After all, nothing has existed before this. But it grows, flickering with quiet confidence. The water ripples outward, and for the first time, darkness has something to reflect. You feel warm spread across your skin, soft and golden, like dawn brushing against a closed eyelid. The hum of the ocean grows louder, yet calmer, like a song tuning itself. And in that light, you sense a presence. Not a figure yet, not a face, but a will. The whisper beneath the waters becomes words, or something close to them. I am, I will be. It's not thunderous. It's quiet, the kind of quiet that fills every corner of your mind. The ocean responds with a gentle wave, as if bowing to its own creation. You realize you're witnessing the instant before history, the first spark of self-awareness in the cosmos, the moment when the universe thought, let there be me. You try to breathe again, but all you can do is feel. Every pulse of light vibrates through your chest, syncing with your heartbeat. For a fleeting second, you understand everything. The loneliness of the void, the hunger to exist, the wonder of being the first spark in a place that's never known warmth. The light grows bolder, spreading tendrils of gold across the black waters. The first dawn hasn't come yet, but it's close. Close enough that the darkness seems to sigh with relief. Scholars still argue whether this first movement was accident or intention, whether R.A. created himself, or the waters of none simply dreamed him into being. Maybe both are true. Maybe creation was just the universe trying to see itself for the first time. You float there, silent, as that light flickers one last time. Steady now, alive. It doesn't fade. It waits. And in that waiting, you realize something extraordinary is about to rise. The glow in the water expands, slow, deliberate, like sunrise rehearsing behind closed eyes. It's warm now, almost tender, but beneath it, you sense power. Something vast and aware, unfolding in silence. Then a pulse. And another. The light trembles, growing brighter with each breath you take. The golden shimmer tightens into a shape, round, radiant, trembling between fire and water. The surface of the void shivers, and the darkness pulls back, as if afraid. And then, a voice, not heard but felt, speaks again. From the chaos, I rise. The golden sphere bursts upward, scattering waves of brilliance. The sea of none roars, not with sound, but with vibration. The first storm of light tears through the endless night, and out of it rises Ra, the self-created god. He is pure energy, neither man nor beast yet, a glowing essence wrapped in blinding heat. The water steams where he moves, and the surface gleams like molten glass beneath him. Egyptian priests used to say that Ra's first thought was his own name, because to name something was to give it power. So imagine it, in the empty silence, the first word ever spoken, Ra, a sound that echoed through eternity, teaching the universe how to speak. The warmth deepens, filling the darkness with color. Gold, amber, and faint hints of red swirl together, like dawn rehearsing itself for the very first morning. Ra looks around, and he sees nothing but the waters of none, infinite, silent, lonely. He realizes he is alone, and that realization, they say, made the first wind move. The air trembled as if the cosmos took its first breath. He rises above the surface, forming a space between the waters and the sky. There's no earth yet, only a reflection of light on endless waves. As Ra glows brighter, droplets of water scatter upward, sparkling like stars. Maybe that's why Egyptians believed the stars were born from the sweat of the gods. Tiny pieces of divine heat drifting into the cool night. You can feel the scene warming around you. The ocean hum fades, replaced by a quiet ringing, almost like music. It's peaceful, but also alive, the sound of creation catching rhythm. Ra looks into the waters below and sees his reflection. It flickers, then stabilizes, the first mirror, the first recognition of self. He smiles, though not with a face yet, with energy, with understanding. I am light, and I am alone. The loneliness of that statement echoes forever. You can almost hear it ripple through time, whisper in the background of every human fear of being forgotten. But Ra doesn't stay alone for long. He understands that creation must continue. That light without form is just a dream. So, with one slow breath, he speaks again, or rather, wills the next thing into being. Let there be land to rest upon. And the waters beneath him tremble. The golden waves curl, folding inward, hardening at the center. From that sacred churning, something solid begins to emerge, a mound, small at first, then growing, pushing through the endless sea. The Egyptians called it the Benben, the first land, the mound of creation. Every temple built after this moment, they say, tried to recreate that shape, pyramidal, sacred, always reaching upward toward the sun. Ra lands gently upon it, his feet touching solid ground for the first time in existence. And when he does, the world changes color, from deep gold to soft, living warmth. The sky trembles faintly, as if it's waiting for its turn to be born. You feel that too, a quiet expectancy in the air, like the pause before sunrise. Ra closes his eyes, feeling the silence wrap around him. He knows the void still lingers at the edges, watching, waiting to reclaim everything. But for now, he has a foundation, a beginning. He kneels upon the mound, his light softening, and for a brief, human moment, he seems to rest. The water around him stills, as if even chaos needs a moment to admire creation. Then, from the quiet, a whisper rises, not from Ra this time, but from the sea. It's the echo of what remains unmade. It murmurs to him, soft and patient. Light cannot exist without shadow. Ra opens his eyes, glowing brighter than ever. The reflection of that light touches the horizon, and for the first time, there's direction. East, west, above, below. The world now is order, and as he gazes into vast, unfinished emptiness, Ra smiles again, because he knows the work has just begun. You sit beside Ra on the shimmering mound, the newborn land that still drips with the last traces of chaos. The water around you hums softly, alive but obedient now, not the wild nothingness it was before. The air is lighter too, shimmering like warm silk. You can feel the moment when stillness starts to want to move. Ra stands tall, or rather, tall as light can stand. His glow flickers across the surface of the waters, painting long, golden ribbons that stretch out to infinity. His heart burns with a strange new thing, curiosity, the desire to see what comes next. He breathes in, and then, like a deep exhale from the universe itself, he lets part of his light drift away. From that exhalation come two beings shimmering, swirling in the air like sparks caught in a breeze. He names them Shu and Tefnut, air and moisture. The Egyptians said Ra didn't need hands to create them, just thought and breath. They called it Keperu, the act of becoming through will. And maybe that's how everything starts, with the decision to exist. You watch as Shu lift the sky a little, pushing it gently upward, while Tefnut dances along the newborn air, letting droplets of life fall like jewels onto the mound. Wherever those drops land, color appears, green, gold, red. Not yet plants or soil, but the promise of them. The world smells fresh, like rain on stone. Ra smiles. The light around him pulses rhythmically, like a heartbeat syncing with the rhythm of creation. You realize you've never seen him happier, not even when he first rose from the waters, because now, for the first time, he's not alone. They move together, this little divine family, shaping the world with gestures more graceful than sound. Shu pushes back the horizon, separating the heavens from the sea. Tefnut fills the air with gentle mist, the kind that softens sunlight and makes it bearable. Instead that Ra places eye in the sky to watch over them. The eye of Ra, the burning sun that sees all. That eye is both guardian and weapon, kind when the world listens, merciless when it rebels. Some say it was alive, conscious, and fiercely loyal to its creator. But that's a story for later. For now, everything seems peaceful. The air, the moisture, the land, all working in quiet harmony. You almost forget that chaos still exists, hidden just below the waves, biding its time. Then, something changes. Shu and Tefnut wander too far from Ra's light. Their glowing forms vanish into the misty horizon, and for the first time, light feels lonely again. Ra waits. Minutes, hours, maybe centuries. Time isn't quite invented yet, but his heart grows heavy. The warmth around you fades, slightly, like a candle struggling against a draft. He looks toward the darkness and calls out, "My children, where have you gone?" No answer. So, Ra does something desperate. He tears out his own eye, not in pain but in resolve, and throws it into the void. It flies off, searching endlessly for Shu and Tefnut, a living flame guided by sorrow and love. That's one of those strange Egyptian story scholars still debate. Was it symbolic? A myth about the sun's path? Or something deeper? The idea that creation requires sacrifice? No one really knows. But you can almost feel it, the ache of being incomplete. Finally, after what feels like lifetimes, the golden light of Ra's eye returns, carrying Shu and Tefnut safely back. Ra rejoices. His tears of relief fall upon the mound, and wherever they land, humans are born. Yes, in this myth, you come from the gods' tears. The Egyptians said laughter made gods, but tears made mortals, soft and more fragile but full of feeling. So, as you breathe in the warm air, you realize the same light that made the sun also glows faintly within you. You were born from relief, from reunion, from that divine side that says, "They're safe now." Ra embraces his children, his missing eye returning to his face. The light brightens again, restoring balance. Above, the sky and air hold firm. Below, the waters are calm. And then it happens. A subtle change in color. Gold deepens to red. Red softens to pink. And for the first time in existence, the horizon begins to glow. You turn your head and see it. The very first dawn. The light isn't sudden. It blooms slowly, stretching across the newborn sky, kissing the land awake. Birds don't exist yet, but if they did, they'd be singing. The air hums, alive with promise. Ra rises again, not as pure light this time, but as a blazing orb, steady, complete. The world below him warms, and the reflection in the waters looks like fire resting on glass. It's gentle but powerful, a warmth that reaches even you, as if the story itself is reminding you of where every sunrise truly comes from, the heart of something ancient, lonely, and endlessly loving. Ra speaks softly, his voice now like the hum of daylight itself. "Let every morning be my rebirth, and every night my rest." You blink, and in that blink, time begins to flow for real. The first day has started. The world has opened its eyes. And somewhere, deep beneath the calm surface of the waters, the darkness stirs again. You can feel it even before it shows itself. The subtle shift in the air, that strange tightness right before a storm, when everything holds its breath. The waters of Nun, once silent and obedient under Ra's light, begin to stir again. They twist, they whisper, and something ancient begins to rise. You stand at the edge of the Benben Mound beside Ra, watching the horizon ripple unnaturally. The sunlight that was once soft and golden now flickers, as if something beneath it is trying to swallow it whole. And then, from the depths of primordial sea, a Pep or Apophis, as later scribes would call him, begins to emerge. He isn't born like Ra. He isn't light or warmth or thought. He is the echo of what came before all that, the leftover darkness condensed into shape. The Egyptians described him as a serpent so vast that he could coil around the world. His scales are made of shadow itself, swallowing every reflection that touches them. The world trembles. Even Ra's light flickers, momentarily unsure of itself. You feel the pull, not just of fear, but of recognition. Because Apep isn't some villain. He's the balance that creation forgot to invite to the table. Where there's order, there must also be chaos. Ra's brilliance called him into being, not by accident, but by inevitability. Ra's voice rings across the void. You cannot rule this world, serpent. It is born of light. Apep answers, his tone low and endless. Then let us see who endures longer. yours or the dark that birthed you. The clash doesn't happen with weapons. It happens in motion, in the eternal rhythm of day and night. You can almost see it forming in front of you. Ra rises, bringing light, and a pep coils beneath the horizon, waiting for the sun to tire. When it does, the serpent lunges, swallowing a whole, and the world falls into night. That's what Egyptians believed every sunset was, Ra being devoured, traveling to the underworld, fighting a pep in the hidden hours, and emerging victorious at dawn. You're watching the first of those battles unfold now, the very first sunset. The gold fades to crimson, then purple, then black. The air chills. Ra descends toward the horizon, his radiance dimming, as if he's diving back into the sea to defend his creation. You can feel the waves of shadow rising to meet him, each pulse colder than the last. The serpent's body curls around you, massive, silent, hypnotic. His breath smells like old stone and forgotten dreams. And when he moves, the water hisses. Ra's light cuts through the darkness, a thin golden line slicing across infinity. You can hear thunder in the distance, though there are no clouds yet, just a sound of cosmic tension snapping like strings. The battle begins. Flashes of light and shadow twist together, blinding, beautiful, terrifying. The serpent strikes, jaws wide, and for a moment, it seems like the world will end before it even starts. But Ra doesn't falter. He remembers what he is, the first will, the first word. And he speaks again, voice echoing like a drumbeat through eternity. I am the breath between night and day. I am the fire that darkness cannot drown. With that, the serpent reels. The light flares, golden fire wrapping around Ra like armor. The waters boil, the air screams, and suddenly, silence. When it clears, Ra stands once again upon the mound. The sea is calm. The serpent has retreated, for now. Scholars still argue whether Apep was ever truly defeated or whether he just learned to hide in the hours of night, waiting to strike again. Maybe that's why we still fear the dark, that ancient memory, carried to millennia, that something enormous and hungry lives in it. Ra looks down at the water, breathing slowly. His glow is softer now, not the blinding light of his birth, but the steady warmth of survival. You notice a faint tremor in the air, a reminder that every victory comes with a cost. He turns to you, his voice calm but heavy with meaning. Light must be remade each day. It is not a gift, it is a duty. And with that, he rises once more into the sky. The darkness hesitates, then begins to fade, peeling away like layers of smoke until the horizon blushes gold again. The first true dawn breaks, not the fragile one of creation, but one that has been earned through struggle. The sky burns with color, crimson orange and the faintest blue. You can feel warmth flood back into your bones. The serpent is gone, but his whisper lingers. I will be waiting. Ra smiles, almost sadly, because he knows the world now is rhythm. Day and night, light and shadow, life and rest. And you, a witness to both, feel the cycle beginning to hum beneath your skin. It's not peace exactly, but it's balance. And that's enough for now. The new dawn stretches endlessly before you, soft gold, and trembling like it's still learning how to be steady. The air carries the faintest hum, a leftover vibration from Ra's battle with the serpent. You can still feel it, faint but constant, like a heartbeat beneath the skin of the world. Ra stands on the Benben Mound again, his form glowing but calmer now. Not the blinding fire that once tore through chaos, but something gentler, wiser. His light warms your face as he turns, looking over the still waters. The fight with Apep has changed him. He's not just a force of light anymore. He's a guardian, a craftsman. He breathes in deeply. And when he exhales, the air itself stirs, a whisper, a vibration. And you realize this is no ordinary breath. This is the first wind. The Egyptians said the breath of Ra carried life. It was called Ankh, the divine spark that animates everything. And you can feel it now. Soft, invisible fingers brushing across your skin, teasing ripples on the surface of the waters, lifting dust into motion. From that breath, the world begins to wake. The air curls into patterns, swirling, folding, dancing, and suddenly it feels alive. The light bends differently now, shaping outlines that were never there before. The first forms of nature, tiny, delicate, unsteady, shimmer into existence. Wisps of green, hints of warmth, the fragrance of something alive. Ra watches quietly. He doesn't command now. He simply allows. You realize creation doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it grows in silence, unnoticed but unstoppable. Then, from the light around him, Two figures begin to emerge again, his children, Shu and Tefnut, returning to stand by their father. But they're not as you saw them before. Their forms are stronger, their colors richer, their presence more defined. Shu, the god of air, stretches his arms wide, and the sky expands, the dome of heaven lifting higher. Tefnut, goddess of moisture, drapes herself across the world, her touch soft and cool, leaving a shimmer wherever she moves. Together, they breathe harmony into existence. Their movements are synchronized, rhythmic, like a slow dance between atmosphere and mist. You can see the first clouds forming, glowing faintly with sunlight, and below them, the land begins to blush with color. Tiny tendrils push through the damp soil of the Benben Mound. Not plants yet, but the first promise of them, life practicing its first steps. R.A. watches, and for the first time, you hear him laugh. It's a sound like sunlight through water, gentle, musical, healing. But creation isn't just about beauty. It's about balance. For every breath that gives life, there must be space for silence, for stillness. R.A. breathes out again, and the horizon shifts slightly darker, not with danger, but with depth. The play of light and shadow now feels intentional, crafted. You look around, and suddenly you understand this isn't random. This is art. The Egyptians would later say that R.A. didn't just create the world. He organized it. He set Ma'at, the principle of truth and order, into motion. It was the heartbeat of the cosmos, the invisible rhythm that kept chaos from seeping back in. You feel that rhythm in your chest now. Slow, steady, reassuring. Scholars still argue whether Ma'at was just a moral code or something greater. A law of physics, a divine equation that held everything together. But here, watching the world take shape around you, you can tell it's more than rules. It's the pulse of creation itself. R.A. turns his gaze toward the horizon, his eye reflecting the growing light. He speaks softly, almost to himself. Where there is air, there will be voice. Where there is breath, there will be life. And suddenly you hear it, the faintest murmur, not speech exactly, but vibration, the first hint of sound. The wind carries across the water, and as it travels, it gains texture, the rustle of moving air, the sigh of moisture against stone. These are the first notes of music, the raw sound of a world learning how to speak. The air thickens slightly, shimmering gold and silver. Shu raises his hand, and the wind answers. Tefnut follows, her mist cooling the heat of Ra's light, softening its edge. Together, they form the breath of creation, the endless cycle of inhale and exhale, rise and fall, birth and rest. You stand within it, weightless. Each gust brushes against you like a whisper from the gods, gentle, rhythmic, hypnotic. It makes your eyelids heavy, as though the air itself is coaxing you toward calm. In this breath, you realize something simple and profound. Every living thing that will ever exist will carry the same rhythm. Every sigh, every wind, every heartbeat, all just echoes of this moment. R.A. lowers his gaze, smiling faintly. It is good, he murmurs, not in pride, but in relief. The world glows brighter, the air steadier. Balance has been achieved, for now. But far below, deep in the forgotten darkness of none, the serpent shifts again, a ripple in the stillness, a reminder that every breath, no matter how divine, must eventually face silence. You glance toward R.A. He knows, but he doesn't fear it. He only nods the horizon, as though already preparing for the next dawn, because creation, like breathing, never truly stops. It just pauses, waiting for the next inhale. The air hums quietly, alive with warmth and rhythm. You can feel it brushing against your skin, that same divine breath that once rolled off Ra's lips, still pulsing through everything it touches. The mound beneath your feet has grown wider now. What was once just a lonely rise in endless waters has become a stretch of shimmering earth. You take a slow step forward, and the ground feels to wake. It's soft, still damp from Tefnut's mist, but steady, the first stability the universe has ever known. Each movement sends tiny ripples of light across its surface, as if the land itself is curious about your presence. R.A. watches from above, his glow calmer now, almost human in its warmth. He looks down at this new world, not just as its maker, but as its guardian. And there's something almost tender in the way his light touches everything. He raises his hand slightly, and the horizon responds. You can see the shimmer of colors deepening, blues separating from blacks, gold stretching into reds. Sky and sea, light and shadow, all beginning to find their own boundaries. The Egyptians would later call this the time of Tepi, the first occasion, when order first emerged from chaos. Every myth, every ritual, every temple would look back to this exact moment, when the formless world finally started to understand what it meant to exist. You walk slowly along the shimmering edge of the mound. Around you, the air is filled with soft sound, water dripping, mist swirling, faint cracks of warmth expanding through the soil. Each noise feels sacred, like the world's first attempt at language. Then, you notice something moving beside you, faint, almost invisible. Tiny sparks flickering in the dust. At first, you think they're reflections, but no, they pulse, glowing faintly, like little souls testing out existence. Ra notices them too. His light brightens slightly, and when it touches the ground, the sparks multiply, hundreds then thousands. Some rise into the air as drifting embers. Others sink into the earth and vanish. Those that remain begin to take form. Limbs, shadows, shapes. They aren't human yet. Not quite. But they're trying. The Egyptians believed that after Ra created Shu and Tefnut, their union brought forth Geb and Nut. Earth and sky, the physical body of the world. You can almost see it now, happening in front of you. The land hardens beneath your feet. Geb awakening, stretching his limbs across the horizon, his back curving gently upward. Above, the air thickens, rising, softening into color, into light. Nut, the sky, arching over him in an endless sweep of gold. They reach for each other, but Ra's light separates them, not in cruelty, but in balance. His voice rolls across the air, deep and resonant. Earth below, sky above, between you, all that breathes. Nut weeps softly, her tears falling as dew and rain. Geb answers by pushing his heels upward, his warmth feeding her clouds. Their love becomes a pulse of nature, the endless cycle of longing and reunion, of distance and renewal. You can feel it everywhere, in the trembling of the air, in the sigh of the waters, in the slow dance of sunlight across the world's skin. Scholars still argue whether Geb and Nut were meant to symbolize nature's forces or something deeper, the eternal tension between what's grounded and what's infinite. But here, watching unfold, it feels like both. As Ra's light softens, the colors deepen. The air smells richer now, a mix of warmth, moisture, and something new, something alive. You look closer, and the surface of the earth begins to change. It wrinkles, cracks, blossoms. Tiny tendrils push through the soil, the first vegetation, stretching shyly toward Ra's light. Each sprout glows faintly, the color of jade soaked in gold, the world's first garden. The air fills with a gentle vibration, as if the soil itself is singing. Ra smiles, his voice now low, thoughtful. Life breathes beneath me. Let it remember the warmth that made it. And just like that, creation starts to build itself. The plants sway, the mist thins, and faint shapes move between light and shadow, the first creatures of the earth, silent and slow. They crawl, they shimmer, they vanish. There's no fear yet, no hunger, just a quiet wonder of being. You step carefully among them, feeling the warmth rise through your feet. The world feels like it's breathing with you. Inhale, exhale, pulse, glow. Ra looks satisfied. His light brightens, casting long streaks across the horizon. He's built a stage, and the actors have just entered. But as the world grows, so does something else, a faint tension in the distance. The horizon flickers. The line between day and night feels thinner than before. Ra notices it too. He tilts his head slightly, his golden gaze narrowing. Somewhere beyond sight, the serpent stirs again, not to attack, but to watch. Ra speaks softly, almost as if to himself. Even beauty needs a shadow. He looks down at you, and you realize something profound. That creation isn't a single act. It's a rhythm, a breath, a conversation between light and dark, between what is and what could be. And as the wind moves again, gentle, cool, rhythmic, you realize the world isn't finished yet. It's only beginning to dream. The air grows still again, that sacred stillness that always comes before something grand. You can sense it like the earth itself is holding its breath. The colors around you shift gently, blue deepening into indigo, gold melting into faint crimson. This is not just another dawn. This is the first sunrise. Above the horizon, Ra's golden disk stirs, not merely as a light, but as a living being. The Egyptians called him Khepri in this form, the morning sun, the scarab that pushes light out of darkness. You can almost see him now, a radiant sphere rolling upward from the edge of creation, burning away the mist. As the light spreads, the air hums again. You feel warm slide across your face, a kind of divine awakening. Shadows retreat, waters sparkle, and every leaf you saw moments ago stretches open, greeting the sun like it's their first breath. Ra rises higher, and with each degree, the world changes. Colors come alive. Greens deepen, blues shimmer, gold drips across the ground. The air smells of wet soil and new beginnings. Birds that did not exist a moment ago take flight, their cries echoing through the sky. It's as if sound itself has been reborn. This is the circle of life, the heartbeat of the cosmos that Ra has set in motion. Every dawn will echo this first one. Every death will feed new life. Every night will end in light again. In Egyptian belief, Ra would travel across the sky each day, bringing warmth and life to all beings. But as evening fell, he would descend into the underworld, to battle the great serpent Apophis, embodiment of chaos. Only by winning that battle each night could he rise again. That cycle, birth, struggle, rebirth, wasn't just mythology. It was philosophy, a truth about everything that lives. You can almost see the idea forming in the air before you. Ra's disk moving steadily, Geb and Nut watching in their eternal positions, the world turning beneath them. Even the silence has rhythm now. As you stand there, you hear Ra's voice again, not thunderous this time, but calm, resonant, like a father speaking to his children. Every day, I rise to remind the world that endings are never truly ends. The shadow is but the path toward light. His words settle over the land like dust made of stars. You close your eyes for a moment, letting them sink in. You can feel the truth of it in your heartbeat, that same rhythm, that same cycle. Around you, the first humans stir, faint silhouettes emerging from the mist of time. Their forms are simple, almost ghostly. They watch the sunrise in awe, just as you are. For them, this isn't just the start of a day. It's the birth of meaning. They don't yet have words for worship or language for gratitude. But when they raise their hands toward the light, you can feel something ancient taking root, belief. That's how it began, not with temples or carvings or prayers, but with awe, with the realization that the world itself breathes in rhythm, and that every heart beating beneath the sun is part of that same breath. The air warms further, and you feel the first wind sweep across your face. Shu's gentle reminder that life must always move. The world no longer feels still. It's alive, spinning in harmony with Ra's daily voyage. Far beyond, you see the faint shimmer of the horizon curve, not as an edge, but as a circle. Ra's journey isn't a line from morning to night. It's a wheel, endless, eternal, beautiful. You hear whispers in the distance, soft, like the earth dreaming aloud. From water to land, from night to light, from stillness to breath, the circle turns. And just like that, the first sunrise completes itself. Ra's light settles over the world like a golden sigh. You stand quietly, aware that you're witnessing not just the birth of time, but of meaning. This is how the Egyptians understood existence. Not as a battle between life and death, but as a conversation between them. Every dawn is a promise. Every night is a test. And between them, all things mortal and divine must find their place. As the warmth deepens, you take one last look at the glowing sky. The light feels softer now, calmer. No longer the blinding blaze of creation, but the gentle warmth of life. Ra, still high above, seems to nod, as if to say, it begins. The circle turns once more, and the world exhales. The light of Ra spreads endlessly now, gilding everything in soft gold. The waters glisten like polished bronze, and from their surface rise the first whispers of breath. Not wind this time, but life itself. You can feel it in the air around you, tiny vibrations that seem to hum with intent. Someone is forming. You stand upon the damp, shimmering earth as if the world itself is still deciding what to be. And from the mud and mist, faint shapes begin to take form. Figures carved from clay, fragile yet deliberate. Their chests rise for the first time, and that first inhale feels enormous, sacred, terrifying. They are us, the first humans. Ra watches from above, a quiet satisfaction in his radiant eye. But you can sense his thoughts. This creation isn't just his doing, it's his extension. Each soul carries a spark of his fire, a sliver of divine light meant to wander the earth and remember its origin. You move closer, drawn by curiosity. Their eyes open not all at once, but one by one, like dawn creeping over the horizon again. They blink against the light, unsure what they are or where. Yet when they gaze upward, that same recognition flickers. They know the sun. They know him. Ra breathes across the land, and the humans respond instinctively, lifting their faces to the warmth. You can almost hear the faint echo of a heartbeat shared between them and the sky. This is the moment where devotion begins, not out of fear but gratitude. The Egyptians would later call this connection Ka, the vital essence, the spiritual twin that binds body and soul. Every person, they believed, carried their Ka from the breath of Ra himself. You kneel beside one of them. Their skin is smooth like polished stone, their eyes wide and still learning what to see. They reach out a trembling hand toward the horizon. You watch, fascinated, as a flicker of understanding crosses their face. That small, fragile awareness that I am. And then something else happens. From behind the new humans, a shadow ripples. A cold wind passes through the golden air, faint but unmistakable. You turn and see movement within the mist. The darkness hasn't vanished entirely. Even now, a pep stirs below the world's surface, coiling through unseen waters, jealous of this light, this warmth, this order. You sense Ra noticing too. His radiance flares momentarily, casting a shimmering barrier across the earth. But it's gentler now. Protective, not destructive. He knows that chaos can't be destroyed forever, only balanced. And so, Ra's voice returns, low and resonant, vibrating through the ground beneath you. Let them live. Let them dream. And when the dark comes for them, may they remember my name. The words ripple through the air and enter the new humans like music. You see their backs straighten, their eyes glow faintly with understanding. They can't yet speak, but somehow they know. A warm breeze circles you again. Shoo sigh, followed by the faint scent of life blooming nearby. Tiny shoots of papyrus and lotus begin to rise from mud, wrapping the newborn world in green. The humans look around, amazed. They touch the leaves, the soil, each other. One of them laughs, an innocent, unpracticed sound that startles even them. You can't help but smile. It's the first laughter in existence, and somehow you feel R.A. smiling too. Far above, the sky deepens to a more mature gold. R.A., in his midday form now, watches the world with satisfaction. But even gods grow weary. You notice the light begin to soften. That familiar hint of amber, that means the day will soon turn. The humans follow the fading light instinctively, walking toward the horizon, their shadows stretching long and thin across the land. You follow them, listening to the gentle rhythm of their footsteps, each one syncing with the pulse of the earth. This is the whisper of souls, the first quiet promise between humankind and their creator. They will build temples. They will forget. They will remember. They will fear darkness and chase the dawn. And through every rise and fall, R.A. will travel the same path, above and below, keeping that fragile balance between chaos and calm. You glance once more at the sky. The sun sinks low, dipping toward the horizon, and the warmth clings to you like memory. You realize you've come full circle, from the void to creation, from silence to song. And as night begins to gather again, Ra's chariot slowly descends toward the western gate of the underworld. You hear his voice, barely above a whisper now. Every ending is the seed of dawn. The humans watch, awed and silent, as the sun disappears beyond the edge of the world. The stars awaken, thousands of tiny RAIs blinking in the night, keeping watch. You exhale softly. The air feels different now, not empty, but alive with rhythm and pulse. Life has begun, and it will never stop. You close your eyes, feeling the warmth fade into a soft breeze. In that moment, you understand. R.A. doesn't just rise in the sky. He rises within every soul that dares to awaken. Word count, 812. Now comes your wind down final 300 words. The soft, dreamy outro with slow pacing and comfort tone.